Welcome everybody to the Lindemann Outdoors podcast. We got a special one for you today. I'm back from my appendix surgery, so you guys just had Jeremy solo last week, and this week I'm back, but I'm here with a special guest and our first guest in the podcast, Ethan Johnson. I've known him since about the first grade. Him and his family, they kill big bucks, and they've been doing it for a while, and Ethan's, he's got some good stories to tell us. So, Ethan, say hi, everyone.
Hey there, guys. And Jacob, hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the very kind words. I don't know if I've shot as big as bucks as you guys have, but I appreciate it. So, but hey, yeah, I have some stories to tell and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Ethan, he's being a little bashful, but he's got siblings and his dad, they've all shot big bucks up in northern Minnesota, so.
We've been very lucky. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so, Ethan, how many deer have you killed bow hunting?
Truthfully, so I am unlike you in so I love bow hunting. I love it with a passion. However, I unfortunately got into the game very, very late. So I've only shot one deer with a bow. And well, truthfully, I could have, taken many deer though, but for me, I like venison, but I'm a little bit more about the horn. So I'm very picky, I guess you could say. So I've only shot one bull buck, two deer with a rifle. But they're great hunts both times, had a blast. And man, I mean, after my bull buck, it's almost like, of course I'll keep rifle hunting,
Well,
right? But
it's just,
it's,
it turns you, it ruins you for the rest of your life.
it almost does. It almost does. Cause I mean, like, there's something about it. Like, it just feels so good
You know,
to get a deer with a bow versus a rifle. And yes,
yeah,
rifle hunting is tons of fun. But obviously, as you know, bow hunting, a lot more difficult if you ask me.
yeah,
But it can be much more rewarding. So, yeah.
yes, yeah. I mean, and the bucks you've killed with your rifle, I mean, they're both. I mean, do you know the score? But they're big
Yeah.
monster bucks. But
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, very lucky. But hey, you've gone to monster bucks yourself. So,
well, yeah,
yeah.
you know me, Ethan. I got a happy trigger finger, so I don't I
Hey,
don't
we all
waste.
like
But
our venison, right?
that's true. Do you know the score
Absolutely.
of that bow buck that what you got?
The one I got, truthfully, no, not off the top of my head. My first buck, the buck that you know about, that
Yeah,
one was 135.
yeah.
So my bow buck was probably, mm, and I'm unfortunately not super familiar with how they score. Obviously, I know
Well,
the amount of tines, the
I've
width, the
seen your
length.
buck, and I'd say it's around 140.
Yeah.
Which, I
Well,
mean, there are bigger bucks in the world. I mean, this isn't Iowa where they
oh
have
yeah.
200-inch class whitetails, but like northern Minnesota, you get one over 130. That's a big timber buck, and
Yeah,
yeah,
big time. Exactly. But I mean, I'll send you a picture right now of my bull box since you're wondering, and
you know.
you can be the judge because you have much better eyes for that than I do. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah. No, it's
yeah.
yeah. I'd say that's probably a 138,
Hey, I appreciate it,
138
but
pointer.
yeah,
No,
I wish. I'm thinking more like maybe 115.
nah.
I'm not sure.
This is a
But
podcast. No one knows what we're looking at.
true.
This isn't a.
I
This
should
is
have said it was 160.
yeah. This is all
That's
auditory,
what
but
I should
no,
have said. Yeah.
no. But you, yep, in northern Minnesota, put a spot and stock on a whitetail buck, which
Yes.
me personally I've never done. But usually,
You
most
could do
people
it.
know in the Midwest, if you're in the big woods, it's pretty hard to put a stock on them. I mean, you're not out west. There's no hills. I mean, tell us that story.
Yeah. So, and first of all, I mean, I was very fortunate that buck, and I almost lost him at the very end. But essentially, kind of what happened was, I was just in my stand throughout the day. It was just a simple tripod stand, right? And I'm just sitting there, and I'm not seeing any deer near me for the life of me. But I see these deer kind of on the edge of a bean field we had, and they were way too far out there, but they were just mostly does and stuff. And I was being a little bit stubborn. I should have gone out and, tried to get to them a lot sooner. But I'm just like, yeah, something will pass by. But then I see these three bucks come out, and they're hanging out with the does. And it's just like, you get the buck fever going, right? And you're like,
Yep.
oh, here we go. But the problem is that they were probably maybe, I don't know, 200 yards away. So unless if you're Legolas, I'm not making that shot, right? So I'm like, okay, time to go. Cause frankly, A, I was getting bored in the tripod. B, I wanted a buck really bad. So I get out, and right by this soybean field, we have a patch of woods. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go through the woods and try to get as close to him as I can, right? So I'm making my way, and it's not a huge patch of woods. Like, you can kind of see the other side of the field pretty easily with the trail I was going on. So I was just trying to take my time, slow and steady, and, making sure I didn't want to spook the does, right? So they run, well, then everyone runs. So making my way, and the first two bucks I saw, they were decent. One was a fork, the other was a six, right? But then
Yep.
the third buck, that was the 8 pointer I just sent you,
Yep.
right? And it's like, okay, we're going for him, right? So sneaking up on him, getting it a little bit closer to the field because I found a nice trail where I can clock him. And I started clocking him about, I was within 100 yards, right? So I'm trying to go as slow and as steady as I can. But within about 80 yards, like he could definitely hear me stomp through the woods.
Yep.
Cause I like to say I'm silent like a ninja, but it's tough when you got, in the fall, the dry leaves on the ground and you're breaking sticks and stuff. Like,
Yep.
it's hard to be quiet. So I think he knew I was there. Maybe because he was picking his head up a
Yeah.
bunch of times.
I mean, he
And
probably
every
knew
time he
something was
did,
there, but he didn't quite know what it was.
yes,
Which is,
exactly.
a deer will do that is when they start getting kind of spooked, but they're not running away. It's because they hear something, they smell something, but they can't quite figure out what that something is.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I was so lucky because this buck he's kind of separated from the rest of the herd because I can guarantee you if he was closer to those other deer, there would be no way I could get him because he
Yeah.
was already anxious. And the does, I think, keep a little bit of a better eye out, you know. So, but he was on his own, so I was pretty lucky there. But every time he'd pick up his head, I would just be there and just like, I'd just be praying like, please don't see me, please don't run away.
Mm,
And it paid off because he just went back to grazing, and I tried to get as close as I could, but I was at, I think 63 and a half yards. That was when I
mm,
last clocked him, and he was just picking up his head very frequently. And I'm like, okay, if I get any closer, I'm not gonna, he's gonna be gone, right? And I didn't really like. I'm kind of a new guy when it comes to bow hunting. Well, this is back in 2018. I was new then.
yep.
Um, so I didn't really know the whole distance things of bows. I'm like 63. I'm like, hey, that's the easy shot of a rifle. So let's give it a shot here. So, so I used my last pin on my bow, which was 60 yards.
Yep.
And hoped and prayed and pulled back, and I just tried to be as quiet and as calm, which, man, I think it's so much more difficult
Oh,
to control your buck fever when you're bow hunting.
bow
I don't
hunting,
know what you think.
I get the shakes from a doe. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, no, it definitely
it's,
forces you to, calm your mind, calm your
well, you're just
breathing,
so
and
much closer to the animal and you don't have to it's not very quick. Like a rifle is instant, like the bullet gets there before you hear the boom.
yeah,
With bow hunting, especially at that yardage, you have to hold steady and just until it really hits the deer, which could be,
I know.
only like a second or two, but hey, a second is a lot longer than 0 seconds that a bullet travels.
Exactly. It really makes you wonder how they did it back in the old days. Like
Oof,
nowadays, I mean, like man, with the
they got
bows that are
close.
coming out, the crossbows, they even have laser sightings now,
Oh,
which
don't
I
even
want to
get me
talk to you
started
about.
on crossbows.
I might have to. I might have to. But
Oh,
but
we can
I mean,
discuss that
it's just
after.
yeah. But I mean, it's amazing like how they're able to survive like back then
Oh
with
yeah.
the bows they had. But I guess they did it because they had to. But Anyway, with my bow, it was a prime synergy bow I used. Nothing too big or fancy. Um,
Very solid
I
bow.
just yeah, they are. I know you've been trying to get me on PSC, so
I'm just
once
a
I
little
settle
biased.
down,
Just a little
let's
biased.
just a little, I suppose.
Just a
And you know
tiny
what?
bit.
I suppose that when I settle down again and when I'm able to actually like seriously bow hunt, I'll think about getting PSC. So,
It's the way to go
but
in my book.
yeah, absolutely. No, they're awesome. But with mine, I had him drawn back and he was at 63 and a half. So, and I knew my pin was at 60.
Yep.
So I aimed slightly above him, just
Yep.
a tiny bit. And hey, let the arrow fly. And, I double lunged him
Yeah.
and I saw him jump. So, oh, it was such a, just like amazing feeling.
Oh, it's such
Like
a rush.
I thought I was, sorry, what?
It's a rush with a bow. It's insane.
It really is. Yeah, I know. So, he jumped and then he ran away. And for a second, I thought I lost him, right? But I'm like, no, well, truthfully, like he jumped, but usually they do that when they get hit
Well,
or
they'll do
spooked.
that mule kick.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just super excited and then called my dad up and, he came out there and we ended up tracking him about 50 yards. He was back in the woods and found him and there he was. So it was
It's
quite the night.
no, it's like, and I mean, only going 50 yards is a good shot, but like, double lung, it's amazing. Like deer are just so tough. Like, I mean, I've had deer where I've shot them and I hit one lung and they collapse on the ground, and I've had deer where put it right through their heart and they run for 200 yards. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
like, it's weird. Every shot's a little different. It's like it doesn't make sense, but sometimes like those, especially those bucks late in the season, they're so tough.
I know. I
They're,
know.
yeah,
They are unbelievable. Like my second deer I got, um, he was coming right on me, right? He was just
yeah,
walking towards me and I was aiming for his brisket. Well, I didn't find out. I thought I hit him in the brisket for sure,
yeah,
right? It turns out I had missed terribly and I had shot his leg.
yeah,
So this deer ended up running probably 2 miles onto an island in the middle of a river with essentially three legs.
yeah,
It was unbelievable. So when you say they're tough, oh yeah, you better believe it. So,
yeah.
but thankfully with his double lung shot, he only ran 50 yards and it was pretty easy to track him. And
Oh yeah,
hey man, we made some excellent venison from
oh
him.
yeah, dude, yeah,
And you thank the good Lord for his gift and
yeah.
that was about that. So yeah.
No, yeah, no. Bow hunting, it's. I feel like every time that I've talked to somebody who grew up rifle hunting and then they shot a deer with a bow for the first time, it just ruins them. Well, like
Yeah.
myself, like, I kind of grew up doing both, but I remember when I got my first like bow kill, rifle hunting just became like vacation from bow hunting because bow hunting was so difficult that
I
once
know.
if I did get to rifle season, it was like, okay, I'll take a break and go sit in my nice heated stand and wait,
Yeah,
and watch
exactly.
and download some movies on my phone and bring some snacks and just relax and wait for the deer to come to me.
Yep. But if you usually fill out your tank really, really quick. So
I
yeah,
mean, I'll be honest. If I fill out my tags on the first and second day of bow season and I don't have to hunt the rest of the year, hey, that's the way God planned it, and I'm happy with that.
exactly.
But I
Yep.
mean, hey,
Yep.
last year I didn't get one till last day of rifle season. But that's
Wow.
just, yeah. And then I had one more tag for muzzleloader, and I ended up missing a big buck.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, that's that season. But the season before, I shot 4 deer, and it's like,
Yep.
what,
Exactly.
it's crazy.
You filled the freezer. That's that's for sure.
That's the slogan.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah, lots of fun. Definitely lots of good memories, and like once I'm done with this work I've been doing and stuff, like heck yeah, like
By
I'd
the way,
love to
Ethan's going to
get
be
back
a
into bow
doctor,
hunting.
Doctor
Long road, long road.
Doctor Johnson.
Not yet.
I
Long
know.
road,
Well,
but
he'll get there.
God willing, it'll happen.
Yep. No, and you kind of touched on like the technology of bows and like, and one thing is like people Like, yes, I shoot a fancy PSE, but it was a PSE, but it was their Bow Madness single
Hmm.
cam since I think I got it when I was 12 and I shot it till I was 21, 22, 22. I
Yeah,
shot that bow forever and that thing was just like, it was lights out. I killed many deer with that bow. It's just, I feel like today there's not really a bad bow out there.
yeah.
I mean, they all have a little different variations and people like to, you know, shit on one brand or the other and my brand's faster, but like each brand has a bow that is equal to the rest. I mean, there's not a
Hmm.
bad bow out there. I mean, crossbows,
Your
ugh.
favorite, right?
Well, I feel like the crossbow rule, especially in Minnesota, used to be that if you were 60 or older, you could use a crossbow, and if you had a shoulder injury that a doctor prescribed you that was preventing you from drawing back your bow, you could hunt with a crossbow during
Yes.
the bow season, which to me seemed the most fair ever. If you
Hmm.
were
Exactly.
incapable of drawing back a bow, you can use a crossbow.
Yeah, because
And
you
then,
know you want everyone to have a good time out there,
yeah,
and if they can't use a bow, then I mean a
well
crossbow is the next
now,
best way.
now, it doesn't matter. You can just use a crossbow during the archery season.
Yeah.
Come September, what is it? I think 8th or something like that. You
Hmm.
can use a crossbow till December 31st.
That is quite the change. And you know, I'll say this, like I am very surprised because like, you know, you laid out the rules of like why it was fair, you know, for
Yeah.
folks with like shoulder problems and stuff.
Well,
But I
now
mean,
it's anybody.
yeah, it's anybody. And truthfully, like a crossbow I think is almost like a rifle, you
A
know? They typically have
crossbow
their scopes, you
is
point, you shoot,
it's
and
a
that's it.
short range rifle.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
really, like, shotgun season, you can shoot further because they have that down south.
Yeah.
You can shoot further with a crossbow than you can accurately with a shotgun with slugs.
I did not know that, but
Well,
wow,
a
that's
crossbow, I mean,
surprising.
the crossbow we got for my mom when she had her shoulder problems, but
Hmm.
she shot a deer with it and it was like, that's too easy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll always work out until I can draw my bow again.
Exactly.
Well, she's
Yeah.
like, I'd rather just shoot a gun. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Or we got her one because the rules back then, she couldn't draw back her bow.
Hmm.
And you can shoot 100 yards. I mean, it's a hard shot, but if you are on a tripod holding steady and you have your scope sighted in,
Yeah, you can make that shot
you can make that
relatively
shot
well.
every day.
Yeah,
It's just like a
absolutely.
muzzleloader.
Yeah. So if you ask me, what I think we might both be trying to get at is that, you know, like crossbows are great for, you know, folks who are having a little bit of, you know, like shoulder problems and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're fine, like I don't know, like it almost
If you're
seems like
fully
it
capable,
takes away the fun of a
yeah.
real bow, you know, because
Yes.
it's essentially a rifle, a
Oh
short
yeah.
range rifle.
I mean, I don't hate it. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I last year during the muzzleloader season, I wanted to use a crossbow
Hmm.
because the muzzleloader, now that you can have scopes on a muzzleloader, it's just a 150 yards in rifle. Like it's just
Yeah,
there's not really the challenge. I wanted the challenge, and then
exactly.
these deer that were sitting by this blind in December were like 60 yards out, and I was like, well, I've never tried deer with a crossbow. Let me try it. I
Exactly.
didn't end up shooting the crossbow because I never got one, but
Hmm. Well, have you tried your mom's crossbow just
well,
to
that's
like
what I
target
use. That's what
practice
I
or
was
for
going to
fun?
use.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha.
No, it's cool. It's pink.
Very nice. Yeah, there you go.
Pink camo.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
but like
camouflage makes everything better, right?
it's crazy because like we tell people this like crossbows are easy. People don't believe us. As we've had people over and we give them the crossbow and they can almost Robin Hood an arrow every time.
Uh-huh.
Like
Wow.
you can like because we'll take a little spray paint or like a balloon or something and we'll like put a little dot on our deer target, just to something to aim at
Hmm.
or like a piece of tape and like my mom when she got it the first try bullseye. like after.
Well, your mom is, she
Well,
can shoot very well,
she's a
so
good shot.
that's
She's a
not
badass.
surprising.
She's a badass,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
She could
it's
shoot very well,
oh,
yes.
it's
But
crazy.
other people, they're in that bullseye. I mean, that's just proof that hey, crossbows, you'll hit your mark. So,
Oh yeah, they're. I mean, if you want to be lame, and if you're physically capable of shooting a bow and you choose to shoot a crossbow, I'm just gonna say you're lame.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, if a crossbow is your thing, like, and it brings you joy, that's great, But personally, until I have shoulder problems, I'll just use my bow. But I mean, truthfully, I mean, it would be kind of fun to use a crossbow just to give it a shot.
I
But
mean, it's
yeah,
cool. It
yeah,
can shoot
yeah.
like 400 feet per second.
That is, I'm a little curious. What's the poundage like on a crossbow? I mean, I'm just
Oh,
so unfamiliar with them. I
I
mean, like,
don't, I don't know because you use like now they have crossbows that that you hit hold a button and it has a battery and it winches the
oh,
crossbow up.
everything's becoming electric. Yeah,
I
okay.
know.
Wow, I did not know. Well, okay, so like, what's the poundage on your bow?
My bow I have it at 75.
Wow, guess what my bow's at?
I don't know,
50.
50.
Yeah, I got some work to catch up to you. But I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so like, how fast, if a crossbow is 400, how fast does your bow shoot, you think?
Well, I have my sight tape for 303 feet per second.
Okay. So, 400 feet, so it's definitely probably maybe 80, 90 pounds,
Yeah,
who
a
knows? But
crossbow, the minimum weight is 125 draw weight.
wow. Okay. Wait, the minimum?
Yeah, so like to be like
Whoa.
to like work as a crossbow.
Hmm. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Crossbow
Okay.
feet per second.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sorry. 328 it says 300 to 360 feet per second with some models topping at 400 feet per second.
Ah, I see. Yeah, yeah. So you're talking about the max. Yeah.
The best crossbow you can shoot, um the newest one shoots 470
Mm.
feet per second, which that's crazy,
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
according
Yeah.
to Google.
Yeah. A
But
deer
no,
is not going to have much time to get out of the way, that's for
well,
sure.
no, it's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they're making them better every day. And I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but those laser sights that they have, like,
I've seen those though. That's you don't use a peep sight.
yeah,
That's weird. I saw them the other day. I don't know how that works.
I don't
It's
know.
a little red dot rifle scope with like a 1.5 times zoom on it on your bow where you put your sight, and you don't have a peep sight, and you kind of just like you anchor your arrow and you look through the scope, and I don't even know how you would sight that in.
I'm not sure either, truthfully, but I mean, I must admit, it'd be kind of fun to get one just to see how they work, just to give it a shot. It
Wow.
may make the hunt a little bit easy,
To me, I
much
just think
easier.
it's another thing to go wrong.
That too. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah,
You
I know.
know?
Imagine if that like died on you when you're pulling back on a deer.
Yeah, like that's
Oh,
the last thing. Well, like they have that they have that site the Garmin site that you hit a button, it range finds the deer for you, and then it has a little light up pin that
yeah.
just lights up the pin, and you just aim right there.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, well, if you forget to charge it, you know,
I know.
and then you're out there just blind, which, yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
people now. Listen to this, Ethan. There's people out there that are shooting full compound bows with no
Mhm.
sights.
Really? Wow.
It's like instinctive compound shooting, and I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, good
That's
for them if they can figure that out.
yeah, big time.
Well, it's Brody Turner's dad. If you don't know what Brody Turner is, he's a young kid, and he's
Hmm.
winning like the Vegas like national archery competitions, and I don't know if he's on the U.S. Olympic team, but he should be. But he's like
Yeah.
the best archer in the world right now, and he's like I don't know 18.
Wow.
Yeah, he won it. I think he
That's
won it at like 15 or 16 or something crazy like that.
that's very impressive. Jacob, why didn't you try out for the Olympic archery team?
Well, I haven't
Give it
shot
a
competitive archery, in like 4 years. I had, some college football to do, but
I suppose, I
yeah,
suppose.
no, it's been
Well,
like
the
5
next
months.
Olympics, you got to try out, okay?
Oh yeah, the next Olympics, the next, what's that, be 8 years?
I think so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think if I
Yeah, the
shot
Summer Olympics in Paris right now.
well,
So,
yeah, if I shot 100 arrows a day, every day, I think I'd maybe qualify if I could shoot, if I could not miss for 8 years.
yeah. Oh, it's wild what those guys do, you
Oh
know.
my
That's
gosh, they're
their
they're
that's their
shooting.
dedication, their dream. It's very impressive. But hey, it'll be fun to watch, Team USA do their job and
It's very cool to
like, hey, we'll
watch.
be cheering them on. So,
I always
yeah.
watch the men's and the women's compound archery.
Hmm.
Well, they
Yeah.
do it. They do it as like a team, which is kind of cool because they have teams of three, and then they shoot like six. They have some that are different. There's different distances, but I know they do like a 60 meter.
Hmm.
So like it'd be 60-ish yards, and they'll do like three guys will shoot three arrows, and like that's the score. It's like a team,
Yeah.
so it's kind of cool. Like you only get one shot.
Hmm. I know. A little bit of pressure, but hey, the team's got your back and yeah, so no, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool what they do. But
No. Well, Ethan, I want to thank you for joining the podcast. It was really fun to have you on. Um,
hey, thanks
yeah.
for having me on, Jacob. I had a lot of fun and you know what, like I really appreciate being on your show. So
Well, good. You're one of our, 30 listeners. So the
I got your back. I got your back.
the
No, it's
rest of
fun.
you,
It's fun.
the rest of you 29 out there, you'll enjoy this one. But no, I'll let you get back to your studies, Mr. Dr. Johnson.
Hey, I'll keep studying hard for you.
Yeah, you'll be my primary one day. That's for sure.
I got your back. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to the podcast. It's been a pleasure having Ethan on. He's been a good friend of mine, and he'll be a good friend of mine for the rest of my life. He's always been there for me. So thank you to him, and all you outdoorsmen out there. Just get ready for bow season. Go shoot your bow and get ready to fill the freezer. And don't be ashamed of shooting a doe or a spike buck. It's okay. They all taste good. Ethan, anything left to say?
Oh, yeah. Truthfully, yeah. Everything you said there, spot on. If you're able to get out there to go hunt, like, hey, this guy you're listening to right now, he knows his stuff. Um, but yeah, no. But hey, thanks for having me on again. I really had a blast talking with you, and thanks for all of you who's listening. And hey, I hope you all have a great night.